Hello students and Namaste everyone. Our today's topic for your Standard 9 Social Science is chapter number 6, and already we have studied two parts of this chapter, and this lecture is going to be your third and the final lecture for this chapter. So already we have studied the introduction of this chapter, in which we had seen that how the World War took place, World War I and World War II. What were the consequences of it? Then we had seen the Charter of United Nations. Then we had seen that after the Second World War, what was the situation, that means how the Cold War type situation arose between the two powerful nations, that is the America or the United States and Russia or the Soviet Union, right? So we had seen about the Cold War situation. Then we had seen that how the world got divided between the superpowers. Then we had seen armaments, disarmaments and its implications. Then we had further seen that after the Second World War, how the European nations, they lost their grip over the colonialization, or the imperialism got decreased, right? And the Asian and the African countries, they got freedom from the European nations, right? So we had also seen that after that, how did these countries react? So what did they do is they joined the non-allied movement. That means they did not join either United States or France. They wanted to remain neutral. Again, what was the reason for that? Because just recently they got their independence, and again by joining any of the superpowers, they didn't want to get under the control of anyone. So they wanted to develop their nation in their own way, with their own thinking and abilities. So they decided to remain neutral. Then we had seen the partition and unification of Germany, because we know that Germany was the reason for the First and the Second World War. So after the Second World War, Germany had lost, and again the different parts of the Germany was divided by the winning nations. So they took over some or the other part of the Germany under their control. Then we had seen how Germany was divided into East Germany and West Germany. So that had taken place. Then we had seen again the disintegration of Soviet Union. Again, as I had told you, that Soviet Union was again the union of different nations, and the territories taken away or captured by Russia. So again those kingdoms, they got separated, or the Soviet Union got disintegrated. Now today we'll continue with the remaining part of the chapter, right, which is India's contribution at the international level, right? And again we'll see how or in what way the India has its relations with United States, which is a superpower, Russia, and again the neighboring countries of India like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, right? So in this lecture we are going to study that. So let us begin on page number 43 with the first paragraph, that is India's contribution at the international level. India has contributed significantly at the international level during its freedom struggle and after its independence, right? So the struggle of India is mentioned over here, and how it contributed, right, at international level with its involvement in the non-allied movement. Okay, so let us see. India has always opposed imperialism. Again, I have already explained you the meaning of imperialism. It is a kind of policy or practice by which a country increases its power by taking control over the other countries of the world. So that is imperialism, colonialism, right? We know that many European countries, they had established some other countries and they had developed their colonies. So that is colonialism. And evils like racial discrimination, that means discrimination among the people on the basis of their race, on the basis of the color of the skin. So there is racial discrimination. It has supported, that means India opposed all these things: imperialism, colonialization, and even racial discrimination, right? So from the very beginning India was against all these things. It has supported movements opposing such evils. India has always remained active in the formation of United Nations. Again, we know that after the First World War, by getting the suggestions from the world leaders, League of Nations was formed. Again, we came to know that League of Nations was controlled by the superpowers, and because of that, what happened? It could not fulfill its objectives of maintaining peace around the world. So it did not work, and later on the Second World War happened because of the failure of League of Nations. After the Second World War, again the people, they were threatened by seeing the damage and destruction and loss of life and property, everything. So again they had a suggestion that there should be an organization at international level which will try to maintain peace, which will look after the safety and security of the people all around the world. And for that, United Nations, first it was United Nations Organization, then it changed its name from UNO to UN, that is United Nations, right? So what is given over here is that it has supported, India has always remained active in the formation of United Nations and is actively involved in all its activities. That means all kind of activities which is done by United Nations, India is always involved in those activities, and it always tries to support United Nations in whatever or whichever way it needs its help. India has played an important role by sending its military to support the United Nations efforts in maintaining international peace and security. India has worked appreciably by sending military troops to countries like Gaza, Cyprus, Congo and Sri Lanka during their conflicts, right? That means when there were war kind of situations, or the people, they were fighting of different nations to maintain peace and security over there, United Nations needed help, and at that time India had sent its military troops to control the situation. Okay. Next is, India has helped actively in maintaining peace. India has persistently means continuously, emphasized on the need of disarmament. Again, we all know what is the meaning of disarmament. Disarmament simply means that not to produce nuclear weapons or any other kind of weapons for war, and those weapons are already there. They need to check them, and slowly and gradually they need to destroy them. So that is the policy of disarmament, right? So emphasized on the need of disarmament to achieve world peace and security. In this issue, it has taken leadership in debates world around and in making useful suggestions, right? So again, when the countries of the world, they gather at United Nations and also at different places, India has always supported the policy of disarmament. That means it is always in support of disarmament. That means not to produce weapons. Okay. Moving further, India has expressed the desire of the entire humanity for peace by presenting a proposal for total nuclear disarmament in the United Nations General Assembly, right? To spend the money in the upliftment of poor people in other countries instead of using money in creation of nuclear weapon and military has always been a demand from India in the United Nations. That means again, we all know that whenever any war takes place between any countries, we have always seen the destruction of life, the destruction of property, and ultimately it is a loss of money, right? So again, we all know that due to war kind of situations, no benefit happens to any of the nation or either nations, right? There is always a destruction and loss. So why to fight such kind of war? So what India suggests is that instead of producing more and more weapons, and again after means again in production of those weapons spending millions and billions of rupees, right, India suggests that those money should be used behind the people of the nation or the different nations of the world, because the people at many different places are suffering a lot. They don't have money because of poverty and all. So that money should be used for upliftment of humanity or the life or standard of living of the people around the world. World peace has permanently remained India's primary concern for its foreign policy. India has always remained active to achieve an atmosphere of cooperation, trust and understanding among nations. That means India has always tried to cooperate with the other nations of the world, and it has gained the confidence and trust of the other people around the world. Okay. Next is India's relations with other countries. So I think so this is going to be our last topic, in which India's relation will be discussed with different countries around the world. So first one is relation between India and the United States. Both India and United States are democratic countries. Apart from having lot of similarities, there has been lot of ups and downs in the relationship also, right? Sometime the United Nations becomes too much friendly with us, sometimes they become hostile towards us, right? So ups and downs keep on going on between the India and United Nations. The United States did not like India's role of not joining any power bloc and accepting non-allied policy after its independence, right? Again, we know that India's contribution was major in the non-allied movement and its policy, right? So when the other countries of the world, they were joining either of the superpowers, that is either Russia or America, India did not join any of them. So that thing was not liked by America. The United States did not, that we have already done. Further, they hoped that India would join them, but India joined non-allied movement for its economic growth. There is another reason that amicable relations between India and US, that is United States, could not grow. Amicable means friendly relations. So friendly relations did not grow. So what is that? Let us find out. That is US policy of favoring Pakistan, right? Many a times we again know that every time Pakistan tries to break the ceasefire, it tries to capture the territories of India, right? So such kind of activities keep on going. So United States of America, it supported Pakistan and it did not support India. So that thing was against us, against India. Let us find out further. They supported Pakistan in the case of Jammu and Kashmir. Treaties means agreement. Treaties means agreements. So treaties regarding nuclear weapons have become one of the most important points of disagreement between India and United States. United States had persisted that India should sign the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, right? So that is, India should sign the nuclear non-proliferation treaty and comprehensive test ban treaty. That means according to these treaties, India should not produce any kind of nuclear weapons. Along with that, it is written comprehensive test ban treaty. Again, how can a country come to know that it is nuclear, means it has nuclear weapons or it possesses power? That is by doing nuclear tests, right? So America wanted that India should not carry out any nuclear test, because again, if like America and Russia, India is doing nuclear test, and if it becomes successful, then again it will be having a powerful position around the world, right? So that was the point which was kept by America, but India did not follow that. So again, in one of the movie you might have seen that when India conducted a nuclear test in Pokhran in Rajasthan in 1998, it was taken seriously and certain sanctions were imposed against India as US aided financially and technically. That means United States of America did not like that thing, and it was against India in this matter. There is a remarkable change in relation between both countries after terrorist attack on New York's World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Right? Again, we all are familiar with the World Trade Center attack, in which the two buildings, that is the World Trade Center, right? They were attacked by the terrorist people, and after that the relation between India and United States has gradually improved. The United States is now accepting the fact that India is growing economically very fast. Now, both the countries wish that there should be intimate relationship with each other. Intimate means close, right? So, both the countries feel that they both should have a close relationship with each other. They should not be having, means they should not be against each other, they should be close to each other. They should have friendly relations with each other. In September 2014 and 15, India's Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi visited America and even addressed the United Nations. American President Barack Obama was the first American president to be the chief guest for India's 66th Republic Day celebration. In this way, America and India now has a cordial and amicable relation. That means they are having a friendly relationship with each other. The issues of terrorism are concerns of the head of the country. That means both the countries' heads, right? That means the Prime Minister of India and the President of America. They are always concerned about the terrorist activities, and they always try to oppose it. Right? They always try to oppose it. Next paragraph is relationship between India and Soviet Union. Soviet Union means the Russia. The Soviet Union has helped India considerably in establishing heavy and key industries. Again, we should notice that thing, that when United States was against India, it was supporting Pakistan. At that time, the only country which supported India was Russia in United Nations, right? So let us find out further. The Soviet Union has taken India's side in the issue of Jammu and Kashmir. So that is what I said, that in the United Nations meeting, when United States of America supported Pakistan, it was Russia who supported India in the matter of Jammu and Kashmir. They also have often exercised their veto power. Again, we all know what is veto power, right? So it is right to deny. Right to deny. No, that means I am not in favor of this thing. Okay. Veto power in the United Nations Security Council to see that the proposal against India pertaining to Jammu Kashmir issue should not pass. Right. So we should always be thankful to Russia, and because of their support, because they used their veto power, we are not having the problem, right? Because otherwise the Jammu and Kashmir was in trouble. That means it would not have been part of India, right? Okay. In this way, Russia and India has a very close friendly relations. Next is India's relations with its neighboring countries. So first comes the relationship between India and Pakistan. Immediately after India's independence, the relation between India and Pakistan were always stressful. We all know that many times we have always also fought war for the territories, for taking away the Jammu and Kashmir and all. 3 gruesome wars took place between India and Pakistan. Gruesome means frightful, Darauna, right? It is dreadful, we can say. So 3 gruesome wars took place between India and Pakistan in the year 1948, 1965 and 1971, and in all these wars, Pakistan was defeated. Both the countries have Tashkent and Shimla Treaty. That means India and Pakistan, they have signed a treaty or a kind of agreement according to which they will try to maintain peace, and they will not break the ceasefire, or they will not try to spread violence between the nations, right? They will remain in their limits and they will not try to attack each other. But Pakistan does not follow it with utmost devotion. In 1999, Kargil war between India and Pakistan took place. Fortunately, heads of both the countries have expressed eagerness to resolve all issues peacefully through negotiations. Negotiations means in Hindi if we say baatcheet or charcha karke, right? By talking with each other, they will try to come to a conclusion. That is negotiation. Next is relationship between India and China. India and China relations started in the year 1954 when China displayed its boundary regions on map. It disturbed the relations between India and China. India opposed greatly when China showed most of the regions belonging to India as belonging to them, right? So this kind of activity is continuously done by China also, and they have always tried to show many of the Indian territories in the map of China, which is against India, right? So that thing is not acceptable and India is always opposed to that strongly. The McMahon border showing the border region between India and China was rejected by China, and it led to further discomfort in the relations. That means the relationship was showing or going towards negativity, right? China attacked India in 1962 and captured the regions which were displayed in their map. India sent military troops to its border regions to safeguard from China. China made a full stop to the war, and in this way, war ended. To resolve these problems, many meetings were held, but it turned out to be futile. Futile means in vain, okay, not of any use. But in the last decades, China and India has a cooperative and friendly relations. India's Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi invited Xi Jinping, the Prime Minister of China, to the riverfront Ahmedabad for a courtesy visit. Courtesy means respect, to improve the relationship with each other. Next is India and Bangladesh. Bangladesh got freedom after many struggles in the year 1971. Again, we know the theory that how after the independence, the West Pakistan and East Pakistan was created, and East Pakistan, which was a part of Bengal, right, it was again under the control of Pakistan, and the people, they were not treated properly. So after 1971 it got separated from that, and a new nation was formed which was known as Bangladesh, right. So in the year 1971 Bangladesh became an independent and sovereign country, as earlier it was a part of Pakistan. As a new upcoming country, India helped Bangladesh financially, technically and physically by giving equipments for its growth and development. But there are certain issues which have risen between India and Bangladesh. The utilization of water from river Ganga and its proper channelizing has been talked about between the two countries. That means always India has supported Bangladesh, it has helped Bangladesh, but again on some issues there is a disagreement between both the countries. During flood, cyclone and other natural calamities, India has helped immensely to the Bangladesh. In 2015, concrete talks have taken place in the matters of disputed geographical land regions and the citizenship of people. Why? Because again it is very difficult to control the people coming from Bangladesh to India, right, and many people from Bangladesh they come and live in India as refugees, right. So again it is a matter of concern, okay. Next is India and Bhutan. A peaceful and cordial relationship or a friendship treaty had been signed between India and Bhutan in the year 1949. Bhutan has trustfully sided India in its security and foreign policies. India assured to aid Bhutan, AID, aid means help Bhutan in telecommunication and transportation. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru visited Bhutan in the year 1958, and thereafter Indian President too had visited Bhutan in the year 1970. India helped Bhutan in becoming a member of United Nations in the year 1971. That means with the help of India, Bhutan became one of the member of United Nations. Okay. There is never a troubled relationship between India and Bhutan. That means they have always tried to help each other. They have always been in a friendly terms with each other. India's Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi visited Bhutan in the year 2014 and said that India's progress has direct effect on its neighboring countries. The inter-security related cooperation has been done satisfactorily. Right? That means both the countries, means the progress of both the countries depends on each other, right? Because they are the neighboring countries of each other and they should always try to help each other. Next is India and Sri Lanka. The relationship between India and Sri Lanka is very old. Many Tamilians of India have gone to Sri Lanka and settled thereafter. Their citizenship was the main issue between India and Sri Lanka, but continuous talk has resolved it. The problems of Tamilians and peaceful talks between Tamil organizations and Sri Lankan government was the priority of India. India's Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi visited the troubled regions of Tamilians in Jaffna on 13th March 2015. India assisted financially for the reconstruction of 27,000 houses for rehabilitation of Tamilians. That means those Tamilians who had shifted from Tamil Nadu to Sri Lanka and settled over there. So they were again supported by the Indians for rehabilitation activities. Again, I had explained you what is the meaning of rehabilitation. So whenever any natural calamity or anything happens and because of which the property is damaged or destroyed, then those properties are again repaired and they are tried to made or they are tried to repair it, means the people they try to repair it and the government they try to bring it to its natural or original position is known as rehabilitation, right? So that was the relationship between India and Sri Lanka. Next one is India and Nepal. The relationship between India and Nepal started with the signing of treaty in the year 1950. According to the treaty, both the countries are considered to be sovereign. Sovereign means supreme power or authority, and to preserve regional unity as well as communication of citizens in both the countries. India has helped Nepal socially and economically. Economically means financially. Nepali students visit India for higher studies. The rivers flowing from Himalaya come from the various regions of Nepal. Due to this, during rain, it affects India badly. To stop the floods due to these rivers, talks have begun between these two countries. On 25th April 2015, Nepal faced a destructive earthquake of the magnitude of 7.8 on the Richter scale, which caused the death of 8,000 people, right? So a lot of destruction had taken place because of the earthquake in Nepal, and at that time also India had supported it, means economically, financially and everywhere possible, right? So India aided in relief and rehabilitation work in the areas affected by earthquake, right? So again there was a lot of destruction taken place, so India tried to bring it to its natural position, that is rehabilitation activity. Next is India and Afghanistan. India has very friendly relationship with Afghanistan. India has large-heartedly contributed in the reconstruction of Afghanistan, like in construction, health and education. In the economic and social development, India has financially helped during natural calamities, and also India helped Afghanistan financially. The construction of Afghanistan's parliament building is being done by the India. Next is India and Myanmar. So this is going to be our last point for this chapter. India and Myanmar or Burma has very cordial relation. After India got independence, Myanmar got independence in 1948. From that time, a relationship between both the countries have been friendly. After independence, Myanmar has demanded financial aid from India. India has helped them instantly. Instantly means immediately, because India wants Myanmar to be financially sound. India's foreign policy is to have world peace and security. Furthermore, Indian foreign policy ensures friendly and cordial relationship with its neighboring countries, but there always been a rise and fall in these relations owing to various regions. Again, we all know that if we are living in our home, right, though we are living with our father, mother, if a person is married, then the wife, husband, daughter, son. Even in our home also, on small matters, the fights keep on going on. In the same way, here also, because India and its neighboring countries are being talked about, so even the relationship between them also keeps on changing. That means there is ups and downs in the relationship between these countries. So here our chapter gets over, and along with that our today's lecture also. So that's it for today. Thank you everyone for listening to me. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay safe. Bye everyone.